Okay, today is Yoga for Anxiety. Our theme for this week is clarity, cleanliness, purification. So we're on to the niyama, how to treat this self. So we look at this as purifying ourselves, cleaning ourselves. And there are many ways that we can do this. And lots of the physical activities in yoga already address this without us having to think too much about it. So today we're going to think about burning up, making a lot of heat in the body, trying to get rid of some excess energy. So we're going to start seated. Excuse us if it's a little hot in here. I may be a little breathy because it's really hot. We have the fans on, it's so hot in here. So we're going to start seated today. Start to land on your hips. Just give a wiggle. Notice where you're at in space. See if you can feel even on both hips. And then see if you can make a little wiggle room in the spine. Get a little taller. And maybe close your eyes and just center down. So we're going to think about grounding down through the hips and then sending ourselves taller through the crown of the head. Start to slow the breath. See if you can soften the muscles of the face and the jaw. And we're going to think about cleaning out unwanted or unnecessary thought patterns for a little bit. So you're going to take your hands together, open them up in a lotus, and bring them in front of your heart. Bring all of your awareness to your thoughts, maybe some unhelpful ones that you don't need for practice. Give them a visual. Imagine filling them up into your cup. So imagine these thoughts that are kind of annoying, these swirling thoughts. Maybe they're a color and they're going to drop from your mind into your cup. And then think about offering them up and out, lifting your hands overhead, letting them go, sending them away for at least this practice. And then slowly soften your hands, little circles back down to your lap. And we're going to think about our throat. So get really nice and long in the spine. And we're going to think about compressing the throat a little bit. If you like to think about colors, we're going to think about a blue ball of energy in our throat. Bring your hands together, interlace. Bring them just in front of the throat, not touching. So we're going to use our hands as a guide to connect to the concept of opening up, lifting, and expanding as we breathe in through our throat, and then compressing. So compress your hands back down and bring your chin back down. So inhale as you open. Exhale as you squeeze the breath past. So you're going to use muscular action in the back of your throat to inhale, open up, and then exhale, squeeze, press the breath through. Inhale, open. Exhale, cleansing. Think about when you're lifting your chin, pointing it a little more to the ceiling, getting more space from the chin to the chest. Rather than dropping the head back, lengthening the front, opening up the throat. Bring it back down to neutral. Release the hands. We're going to rub the hands to make them a little bit warm. Place one hand on the center of the chest, doesn't matter which one. From this space, connect to the center of your chest. Take little tiny circles with the chest, teeny tiny circles. Feeling your hand in the space, feeling warmth in this space. Thinking about leading from the hand, so making the circle come from your hand, not your hips. And then rub the hands together again. This time take the opposite hand just to the solar plexus, right in between the ribs. We're going to move from here, press it open, and then pull it back. So press from solar plexus area, push, and then pull back. Inhale as you open, exhale as you squeeze. Little tiny movement, thinking about compressing this particular space. Bring it back to neutral. Make your way over to tabletop. Move and breathe in our tabletop. Inhaling forward. Exhaling back towards a child. Starting to really connect with as many muscles as possible. So maybe taking some movement through the hips. Maybe more weight into the shoulders. Feeling where you need to warm and connect to. Bring it forward to a tabletop. I'm going to take the right leg out even with the hip. Hold it nice and strong. Pull up out of the ground with the chest nice and strong in the shoulders and arms. Hold this leg long and strong. Point and flex the foot. We're going to think about burning muscles. So getting them, certain muscle groups really hot and burning. Wear them out. Stay focused on all the muscles of the right leg. Try not to take this movement into the back. Lower the toes, press through the heel, either take it static or little pulses. Lower the knee, left leg out, even with the hip. Set up your base nice and strong. Breathe. Point and flex the foot. So small movement, start to connect with the glute space. And lower the toes, press through the heel. Back to tabletop, grab a block. If you have a block handy, we're going to play. So we're going to take our right leg out, and we're going to try and balance the block on our right foot. So begin by finding a place where you can balance your block. We're going to play. This is not easy. We're going to play, try and hold your block. See if you can get it. See if you can hold the block. You're going to drop it. See if you can get it to balance. Sometimes it's easier if you take it wider, then see if you can lift it. Oh. It's funny that it's so hard to do it from here because we have more places to take this. And then switch sides, see if you can balance it on the other side. So meanwhile, while you're doing this, think about all the muscles in the legs. See if you can fire them up and focus. Oh my God. And then take it back to tabletop. We're going to tuck the toes this time. So start to fire up the feet. Start to fire up the muscles of the legs. Take the right leg out even with the hip. We're going to take it past the left leg. We're going to inhale, open. Exhale, squeeze, past. So start to move all the way through the leg. Watch for lots of movement going on in the spine. We're trying to isolate and find the muscles of the glute, the muscles of the leg. And then lower the right knee, switch sides. Left leg up, take it past the right. And then inhale, open. Exhale, squeeze. Lower the left leg. Sorry. Bring your arms a little bit further forward when you start to warm up arms and shoulders. So fire up the chest. Pull your chest away from the ground, nice and strong. Tuck the toes, hover the knees, hold. Start to take some weight into the shoulders. Bend the elbows nice and slow. Lower to a hover and hold. So really pulling the elbows towards each other, firing up the chest, breathe. You can hold here, stay strong and stable, or little tiny pulses, lifting the elbows up and down. Watch for holding your breath. Fire up the chest and shoulders, get them hot. Watch for tension in the neck. And then slowly lower the forearms all the way down, knees down. You can take the legs out long and come to a forearm plank, or you can leave the knees down and just hold in a forearm. So I can be strong in my chest, holding my whole body in my forearms. I can also be extremely active with my knees down. So I press my elbows down into the ground and feel like I'm really pulling them apart without letting them move. That fires up all the muscles of my chest and shoulders without having to take lots of weight over there. So breathe, hold wherever you're at. Nice and strong in the shoulders, and you can continue to hold our little pulses. Nose forward, nose back. Only come forward and back if you can hold this very strong without buckling. Buckling is that wobbling through joints. And then wherever you're at, lower the knees and come all the way down to crocodile. Nice and slow. Forehead down, shimmy the hips. From here, we're going to do another throat cleanse. So we're going to come on up to Sphinx pose. Forearms down. Active, strong arms and shoulders. And then pull the chest through. Open up. Press the tops of the feet down. Start to think about the front of the throat. Get longer in the neck. So lift the neck up out of the ground. Press the crown of the head through the ceiling. And we're going to take lion's breath. So lion's breath, inhaling in, exhaling out with a ha sound and a tongue out. We do it 3 times and then come on back down to crocodile pose. So take a deep breath in to prepare. 3 breaths out. 3 ha's out. And then bring it on down to crocodile. Shimmy the hips and notice what comes up. So notice any sensations in the head. Notice any sensations in the throat. And then slowly come on back, tabletop position. From here, we're going to really fire up the chest and the core. So we're going to use the stomach to keep us strong and stable. The actions I want in your stomach are imagining you're pulling your stomach towards your spine, but also all of these outer muscles towards midline. So squeeze in, nice and strong, plank pose. Fire up your plank. We're going to start slow. We're going to step right leg out. Back to center, left leg out. So we're going to start slow. Find your strength. Legs are strong. We're not flopping them around. Watch for locking into the back of the knees. Get strong first. And then we're going to start to take both feet to the left, center, Both feet to the right center. Trying to keep our chest and shoulders still and strong, and then start to pump it up. Make some fire. Moving left and right with your legs, nice and strong in your legs, but getting hot in the chest and the core. Glutes should also be firing. And then bring it back to center. Slowly pull the hips up, down dog. Find a down dog. Find your breath. Slowly pull right leg up, three-legged dog, and then step forward, low lunge. We're going to move and breathe in our low lunge, inhaling forward, exhaling back. You can use your blocks. If you want, you can hold on to the chair. We have a chair for today. We're going to use the chair for balance, just so we can play. Fire up the glutes, focus on the glutes. Then come forward in your low lunge. Weight onto the right leg. Start to pull up the toes of the left. Fire up the left leg nice and strong. We're going to bend the heel. Bend the knee. Bring the heel to the glute. Hold. We're going to take the heel over to the left and over to the right. Nice and slow. You can hold onto the chair here for balance. You can start to challenge yourself. You're trying to isolate this left leg, moving the heel only. So everything else needs to be fired up. Right glute should start to burn soon. And then we're going to hold leg center, right arm long. We're going to pull the heel up and then pull the knee to the elbow. So pull the heel up, up, push the heel, knee to elbow. Inhale as you push and lengthen, exhale as you bend. Start to make this move bigger as you start to get used to it. You're going to bend the right leg, start to really fire up the right glute. You can hold on to the chair, or you can challenge your balance. If your right glute is not on fire yet, you're superhuman. And then find the chair. Lengthen into a warrior three. Left leg super long and strong. Press the heel away from you. Bend the knee. See if you can challenge yourself by placing the block on your foot. See if you can do it. See if you can. There we go. Got it. Press left leg up. See if you can balance that block. So you really have to focus. See if you can lengthen and pull the heel slow towards the glute. Notice that that right glute is still on fire. We're still using it. You have the block. Set it up. Slowly bring left leg to meet right. Pedal out the legs. And notice left and right sides. Oh, it's hot in here. Take the feet wide, about mat width, and you're going to move left and right with the hips. So just taking the weight left and right. Feeling left and right sides. And then slowly step the feet in, step back, down dog. So really take a second to notice left and right sides. Maybe you feel warmth on the right glute. Maybe you feel a little more open somewhere. Notice, see how you feel. And then left leg, three-legged dog. Step through, low lunge. Find your blocks, moving with your breath. Inhale forward, exhale back. And again, I'm trying to find a connection to your muscles. Inhale forward, exhale, pull the legs straight. The Fluffinator is at the studio today. You can hear her in the background. And then come forward, low lunge. So set up so the weight is onto the left leg. Things to look for first, really pulling up out of the ground, firing up all the way to the glute, then pull the toes up. So strong right leg, press the right leg away from you. And pull the heel in towards the glute. Nice and strong, so you're still pulling up out of the ground. Maybe you come up onto the chair for balance. We're gonna pull the right heel left, and then right. Nice and slow, trying to move only right leg. Everything else solid, strong. So you're really pulling in towards midline with every muscle you can find to stabilize you. Soften the face. Get back to center. And we're going to bring the left hand out. We're going to lengthen, press the heel to the ceiling. Exhale, pony to elbow. Inhale, lengthen, press heel up. Exhale, in. So watch for lots of wobbling side to side. Keep this left leg fired up. Really pulling yourself out of the ground using the left glute. Lengthen warrior three. Extend the right leg as long as you can. Press through the heel. Bend the knee. Maybe play with your block on the right foot. See if you can do it. Fire up the leg. Now we're going to press the heel up and down. And then lower right heel, both feet wide. Notice left and right side. So take your hips left and right. And we did both sides. So notice maybe they feel the same, maybe they don't. And then we're gonna inhale all the way up. For overhead, exhale, hands to heart. Hold here. We're going to peel one heel up at a time, nice and slow. So now we're going to try and think about bringing fire into the calf muscles, the lower legs. Nice and slow, pulling one heel up at a time. And you can stay with this, or if you want to work on your balance, you're going to peel both heels up, hold. And instead of lifting and lowering the heels, you're going to pulse the hips up and down. Small, tiny pulses. You're going to have to really think about outer leg muscles and inner leg muscles to keep you from flopping and falling all over the place. So imagine you're pulling the knees in towards each other and out. So locking them both sides. Find your stabilizer muscles. And then wherever you're at, slowly lower the heels, step into mountain pose. Connect to your breath. Inhale, open, bring in fresh. Exhale, draw it all the way down to your heart 3 times. Hold it, mountain pose. Notice what is present. We're going to bring the weight onto the left leg. Slowly peel up the right knee. Send the right knee open to the side. Hold here. And then we're going to take a giant step, landing into Warrior Two. So bend the left leg first. Come as slow as you can. Land in your Warrior Two legs. Set up your base. So don't be too far away from the chair if you have the chair. Find your Warrior Two legs. Nice and strong. So we're going to move here. Lifting, lengthening the legs, and exhale, lower. Thinking about really strengthening through the legs, finding leg muscles. Inhale as we lengthen. Exhale as we pull the legs open, the hips open. Bring it down to Warrior Two. Your arms can be out or they can stay in at hips. Peel the left heel up. Doesn't matter how high, just lift. Maybe it just has a piece of paper underneath it. Just feel like you're pulling the heel up out of the ground. And then little tiny pulses of the heel up and down. Squeeze everything else strong. Really focusing just in on that calf muscle on the left side. Land the left heel. You're going to look at your chair. If you don't have a chair, use a block at the tall side. So you're going to look at your chair, and you're going to pull yourself up and over to half moon. So place the left hand. First, engage core, engage side muscles, and then pull right leg up, nice and slow. Find your half moon first. Lock the muscles of the right leg, so really strong right leg. Hold here. Point and flex the foot. Watch for buckling into the shoulder on the left side. Point and flex. Small controlled movement. Feel which muscles are making this movement happen. Heel to glute without anything else moving. Lengthen, squeeze. Lengthen, squeeze. And you can stay with this. If you can focus on staying really strong, you want to play, you're going to try and hold your block on your foot and lengthen it to Warrior Two. See if you can focus and balance. And then if you get it here, we're going to lift and lower little pulses of the heel. Squeeze. You have to focus. Squeeze the muscles of the legs. Be feeling left glute too. Lift. Drop your block if you have it. Hold higher. So really pressing through the heel. We're going to slowly come back down to Warrior Two. So bend into the left leg, pressing through that right heel. Slow and controlled as you can. Pull up left leg towards straight. And feel this glute space. So towards triangle, find your legs in your base first, and then we're going to twist. Look at the front leg. Bring the right arm out to help guide you. You're going to bring the right arm down towards the chair. Maybe hold the chair, and then focus on pulling left shoulder forward. Breathe. You have the chair, bring both hands towards the chair. So strong legs here. We're going to do a teeny tiny subtle movement, focusing on this left glute space. So a little tiny bend in the left leg. We're going to just press as if you're pressing through the heel. Peel right hip a little open and then press it back. So really going to fire up this left glute. You want it to come from the glute, not from the low back. So you're going to peel it open and back. It's a teeny tiny hip movement. Focus on this coming from the glute space. So you're pressing down through the left leg. The left leg is really fired up. Nice and strong. And then slowly bring it back. Neutral hips, bend the left leg. Come on up. Warrior two. Bring both feet in parallel. Shake out the legs. Take the back of your left hand. Give the glute a whack. Give it a shake. So we burn it up. We build up lots of heat in the muscle groups. That shake, reset, that somatic reset is really, really good for you. Try and do that. Get that muscle moving and shaking. And then we're going to take our hips neutral. Wider legs is going to focus on inner thighs. Closer together is going to focus on backs of your legs. So make a choice of where you would like to be. And slowly come on forward. You can grab your block if you like to keep your back neutral. Notice left and right sides because we only did one side so far. And keep your stretch static, just hanging out, or if you like, you can move your hips, peel up your heels, bend your knees, take whatever movement feels right in this stretch for you. Slowly come on up. We're going to turn the heels in, toes out, goddess legs. Slowly sink it down. So we're going to come on over to this left side. So torso a little bit further forward and then lean over to this left side. Hold here. So we want to hollow out, really strengthen in the core and the chest. Bring our torso over to this left side. We're going to pulse it. So little tiny pulses, really pressing through the heel and pulling it up. Firing up that glute space again. Find it. Strong. And then hold here, lift the heel, and then lower. Lift the heel, and then lower. As you start to get a hang of this, you can start to pull the pelvis forward and start to make this more of a core movement too. So we're really hollowing out the belly, pulling the heel up and lower. Slowly, weight over on the left side. Turn the toes in towards center a little. Same movement. Peel the heel up and lower. Notice you're using entirely different muscle group. If you're not burning and shaking in this muscle group yet, you're superhuman. And then hold it here, and we're going to move the toes in and out, nice and slow. In and out. Slow, controlled movement. Careful. And then bring it back. Feet parallel, hips neutral. Shake it out. Over to the other side. So, bending in, right leg, torso a little forward. Bring the weight right over that right leg, nice and strong. Hold here, little tiny pulses of the hips. So we really want to fire up the legs here. We're pulling the muscles as strong as we can, pulling up out of the ground. Hold it down, pull up the heel and lower. So pull and lower. Strong muscles. Maybe starting to pull the pelvis a little forward, starting to curl out like you're making crunchies in the abs. Lower the heel. Turn the toes in. Land your foot so your feet, your legs are strong. And then peel up the heel and lower. Notice slightly different angle of the foot, totally different muscle group. Find more muscles. Connect to the muscles that are making this movement happen. Small, subtle movements. Lower the heel, strong. Toes in and toes out. back to neutral and wiggle it out. So really shake out those hips, loosen and soften. I have to move my chair because we're going to the other side. So take it really loose and soft first. And then we're going to come to mountain pose and connect to our breath. So inhale up, really drawing that fresh breath down to our heart. Inhale, bring in fresh. Exhale, squeeze out what is no longer needed. Hold your heart space. Find your feet. Find your balance. Way down to the right leg. Left leg peels forward. Ooh, strong active leg. Are your legs tired? Mine are. Bring your left leg out and open and strong. So really fire up the left leg. Start to bend the right. Bring the torso forward. And as slow as you can, send the left leg back. Landing in warrior two legs. So as slow as you can with control. Find your base. So firing up the legs. Pulling this right leg towards straight. Inhale, pull forward. Exhale, open. Inhale, lift. Exhale, open. Trying to slow it down and find the muscles that make this happen. Inner thigh should be nice and strong and fired up. Hold it forward, warrior two. Focusing. So strong legs, watching this back knee being tweaked. Open hips, strong legs. Heel up the right heel and lower, nice and slow. So watch for this movement coming into the hips too much. Really pulling into the lower leg muscles. Slowly lifting the heels, slowly pulling it down. And find warrior two. You're going to look at your block or chair. Fire up the strong muscles in your core, so especially these ones between the ribcage and the hip. Look at your chair. Way down to the right leg. Slowly pull forward and lift up left leg. So you find your half moon pose nice and strong. First, watch for sinking into this right shoulder. So your right hand is just for balance. And then point and flex the foot. Point and flex. Point and flex. Try to keep everything else still. Lift the heel. Really active. So you're really pressing all of your energy, all of your awareness out through that heel. Point and flex the foot. And then heel to glute and back. Nice and slow, only moving the leg. And then either holding the leg long and lift and lower, little tiny micro movements, or if you'd like to play, you're going to try and do it with the block. You really have to focus if you're going to do it with the block. Hold, lengthen, little tiny pulses with the heel. And currently there's an Instagram challenge. If you want to throw up the block and see if you can kick it, go ahead and see if you can do it. So you lift and throw and see if you can kick it on the way down. Luckily the blocks are nice and soft. Come back to your warrior two. Hold, lengthen. Find your breath. Slowly start to straighten up right leg. So we're really going to find our base first. When we do these twisting triangles, it's mindful that you don't pull it into your lower back and sacrum. So keep your legs active and focus on the legs. Really strong. Slowly bring the torso over. Use your left hand as a guide to come forward towards your chair. Lengthen. Twisted triangle. Then focus on pulling right side open. Legs strong and active. So if you want to know if you're using the right muscles or if you're flopping into joints, when you lift up your hand, you shouldn't flip-flop or slingshot. So you should be able to hold this strong with your muscles. The hand is only for balance. Breathe. Slowly bring the right hand back towards the chair. We're going to do that really slow, isolated movement. So coming from the hips. Heel the left hip open a little and then back. Keeping this right leg nice and strong. Open and back. Really feeling like you're pushing through the right heel all the way up to the glute. Right glute should start to burn. If you have trouble connecting with any muscle groups as we move, touch them. Use your hands to help you get that mind-body connection. So put your fingers where you think we're focusing. Help bring all of your awareness here. And then slowly bending into the right leg. Come on up, warrior two. Guess what? We made it. Turn feet out, heels in. Take a little shake of the muscles first. And then make a choice about where you want your legs to be for your forward fold. Either open wide or close together. Find your block, the ground, whatever you like to hold. Breathe and let go. Notice what is different. Slowly bend the knees and wiggle the feet back to hip width apart. We're going to bend the knees. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, pray to heart. And then bring our hands out even with the shoulders. So we're coming on down. We're going to come down to toe stand. If you do not wish to work toe stand, take your feet a little bit wider, work your way down to yogi squat. If you're working with us, you're going to take your hands out. You're going to fire up those core muscles. So really thinking about squeezing everything in towards midline. As if you're pulling your hips in towards center and pulling your stomach back towards your spine. Find your balance first. Peel your knees up. So peel your knees up, your heels up. Find strength. So you're squishing your knees together and pulling them apart. Find outside thighs, inside thighs. Hold here. Slowly lower the hips as if your back was up against a wall. Slow as you can. Come on down. Strong legs. And if you get all the way down, see if you can hover it in toe stand. So you're going to pull the heels up. Pull the stomach back. Maybe a little pull in the pelvis. Either hold in your toe stand, or if you want to challenge for pistol squat, bring your hands to prayer or to your hips. I actually find it easier with my hands at prayer. Start to think about bringing your weight over onto the left foot before you bring your right foot up. So think about it first, and then send your right leg out. Send it out with the foot on the ground first, and then see if you can heel it up. Pistol squat. Switch sides. Yikes. Weight onto the right leg. Think about it first. Peel the left leg forward. And then pull. Pistol squat. And that's all. Come on down. We made it. Take the legs out. Give them a shake. Really shake them off. Point and flex the feet. Notice what is different. Find your breath. Take some circles with the feet, starting to land on the ground. And then if you brought the chair into practice and you're playing with the chair, think about having your feet up on the chair for a little bit. Can be a nice way to start to ground. So come on down to your back. And maybe bring your feet up on the chair. Just kind of think about if you're lifting your feet, the fact that the blood is flowing back down to your heart. So our blood pumps from our heart, but it doesn't pump back up. So when we do these lifting of our feet, we're assisting the blood back, purifying our legs. There was some study I read that if you do 7 minutes, I think it was 2 times a week, with your legs lifted, you can help prevent varicose veins. So maybe think about that kind of purification. Letting all that stale flow come back down to your heart. Maybe give some wiggles of your toes, assist your circulation. Take some ankle circles, whatever feels good. Slow your breath. And if you feel like this is just where you want to be and you want to skip the last couple of stretches, go ahead. Otherwise, bring right knee over left and draw the knees in. We're going to think about just opening up that glute space that we fired up a lot. So play with your feet in this pose and play with activating your feet. If you change the angle of your feet, the activation of your legs, you may find the point that feels right for you. So you're looking in on that right side, across the glute, looking for the muscles deep, so the piriformis, which is really in underneath. And think about softening this space, sending all your fresh breath right to this space. And then knees just over hips. Allow the feet and knees to come over to the left side. Trying to keep your shoulders down. You can assist by holding with your left hand. We're going to think about being open across from this right hip to the right armpit with a little bit of twisty sensation in the core. Long, slow breath. So even though we're giving a little bit of a twist to the stomach, we still want to try and fill up the lungs. Watch for any tension in the neck. Soften the face. Slowly come back to center. And you're going to switch sides. So left knee comes over right. Slowly pull the knees in. And look for the piriformis space on the left side this time. Breathe and release. Slowly let the knees come over the hips, and then the knees and feet over to the right side, leaving the shoulders down. So the shoulders are grounded, the feet and knees land wherever they land, so that this sensation you feel on the right side body, and a little bit of twist in the center in your stomach space, but you're not feeling tweaking in the lower back. Adjust if you're feeling this in your low back or sacrum. You can wiggle the hips to a different position. You can support with your right hand. Be mindful, listen to your body. So any kind of pinching, tingling, stabby sensation is a nerve sensation. Always readjust, always assess. Muscles can be lengthened. You can breathe into lengthening muscles, but we should never push into any kind of nerve sensation or anything that feels like bone rubbing against bone. Breathe and let go. And then slowly bring the knees back to center, and maybe you want to make use of having the chair here, resting your feet up on the chair, or come on to your full Shavasana resting pose. Start to reset and release into the ground. So, start to think about softness from the soles of the feet to the crown of the head. We particularly thought about firing up and finding the muscles of the glutes, the hips, and the legs today. So really think about bringing a lot of softness, a lot of breath and awareness down to everything between your toes and your hips. Really softening, freshening, sending all of your awareness to this space. Loosening and letting these muscles soften back into the ground. And if you notice any heat and gripping still holding on, maybe giving them a little shake, a little reset, really assisting the muscles to start to release and soften. Many traditions throughout the world, heat and fire is thought of as this wonderful cleansing thing. The thing I really like about heat and fire and purification rituals is that it's not that we are getting rid of anything, it's that it's transformation. So a lot of times when you're trying to heal from something or trying to get rid of something that you feel is disturbing in your system, we try to push it out, we try to suppress it, we try to get rid of it. It's like we're throwing out garbage. The thing I like about the concept of purification is that we're transforming it. We're taking something that exists within us and we're throwing it into a fire. And it's not that it's no longer there, it's that it's turned into something else. Think about when you throw something into a fire, it becomes ash and smoke and energy and all these other things. So transformation of what we have held within our body. So one of the ways we can work with transformation is to build heat in the muscles. Find those holding patterns that we have in our body, heat them up, see if we can shake it up a little. We can generate heat within our stomach area, our core space. Think about burning, getting some heat in this lower stomach space. Often where we hold emotional things. We can think about generating heat just by bringing in our breath practices. And then the opposite, the release. So what is the point in cleansing and purifying if we don't pause to notice the work? So think about those days when you got your house absolutely perfectly clean and you just stopped and looked. And you're like, wow, I wish all my friends could come right now and see it. It looks so great. It feels so great. So think about that pause. That's the pause we're taking now. We're feeling a difference. We're feeling that heat in our body. We're taking that pause. We did some silly, playful things throughout class today. So maybe we had some time to laugh, to feel silly. Maybe we had some time where we felt ridiculous or frustrated. Now we have some time to just be. So beginning to let go of control of all of our environment. Control of the muscles, control of the breath, control of the thoughts. And taking a few breaths, a few moments to just be in this moment. Be in this space. If you're in a wonderful space and you're ready to just tune us out, go ahead. If you would like a little practice on a purification meditation, go ahead and start to work with us. We're going to think about a fire, a campfire. We're going to think about taking ourselves there. So you want to make the visual in your head as clear and full of detail as possible. So think of a beautiful campfire. Maybe there's the beating of drums and the singing of people. Maybe there's what feels like your tribe gathered around the fire. And try not to put faces on your tribe. Just try to imagine this being your tribe, your ancestors, your people, a place where you belong. Maybe they're just different versions of you, young versions, older versions, versions yet to come. Try not to cognitively think of it. Just these are your people gathered around your campfire. Start to really connect with seeing the flames, seeing people being joyous around the campfire, singing, dancing, music. And then see yourself drawn to the campfire. And see yourself starting to loosen and soften and sway with the beat of the drums. Without thought, without being self-conscious, moving, loosening, softening, starting to dance as if you were a flame, dancing up towards the sky, one of the embers, twisting and turning and freely moving, loosening, letting go, being at one with the sound of the music, the warmth of the fire, the feeling of belonging to a tribe, being at home, being with your people. And then think about all the thoughts, the common thought patterns, without thinking about what they are, without being cognitive. Just give them a color, give them some kind of visual, and then imagine you could take them and place them onto a piece of paper. You can screw that piece of paper up, rip it into tiny shreds, and then toss it into the flames, letting go of what you're ready to let go of, and watching it be transformed in the flames. Watch it turn from paper to fire to ash and smoke. And then perhaps feeling a little bit lighter, a little bit softer. Look around and paint in the details of your campfire, your tribe, knowing that if you need to come back to this space at any time, the more that you paint in the details, the easier and more familiar and stronger this experience is. And if you have the time to take, practicing bringing what you're ready to release onto a piece of paper, tearing it up and tossing it into the fire. Go ahead and spend some more time here, or if you need to finish up at the 60-minute mark, you're going to start to bring awareness back to the fingers and toes. Start to take some gentle movements. And then slowly bring yourself over to a fetal position. Curl up in a ball.
Answer your phone, unless you don't like it.
On whatever side is calling to you. Apologize for that. My son has himself set as an emergency contact on my phone so he can disturb me whenever he wants. So curl up in a ball and really connect with the purification coming from your bliss center, your inner wisdom, your own inner wisdom, your body's inner guide. We need connection, we need community, we need each other. But we can also heal from within. We don't need someone to heal us. We need someone to hold our hand as we go through that process ourselves. So connect to that inner wisdom, your own purification coming from within, and not that sensation of having to be purified by somebody else. As you come up to a seat, with your hands of prayer, try to connect with the concept of feeling a little lighter, feeling a little softer. And think about this being left and right sides meeting in front of our heart, taking a moment to accept ourselves as whole and complete, precisely as we are. May all beings be peaceful and at ease. Thank you so much for joining us.